We just want to be left alone and do what we do out here and without too much regulation. But, we've always been a pretty conservative area and it's never been an issue out here. So
There shouldn't be any gun policies to take everybody's guns away because it makes no sense in our part of the world. None whatsoever.
So if someone proposed a stricter policy, would that make you ignore that person?
Probably.
You'd think Ottawa's endless anti-gun crusade would have scared Albertans into handing over their legally obtained firearms. But nope. In fact, the exact opposite is happening. Firearms ownership is only increasing, especially among young men. Gun permit applications are up and so are the sales of rifles, shotguns, and other weapons. Pretty much everything that fires a bullet is selling like hotcakes. And Alberta's not just shrugging off the so-called gun buyback program either. They're building a wall against it. The provincial government's made it very clear. Confiscation is not happening here. They're protecting property rights and standing with law-abiding gun owners. Things are about to get very interesting in Alberta as we approach the independence vote in 2026. Let's dive in. Very quickly though, if you enjoy these videos, please do me a solid and subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you change your mind. Thank you, and back to the video.
This 13-year-old squeezes the trigger of a Glock 19X. It's a restricted weapon that can only be used here at a gun range.
You're more powerful with this. You feel protected also.
Jaden Gagnon is part of a growing cohort of teenagers applying for gun licenses. This year, the number of applications went up 11% among people under 19. 5 years ago, the Liberals banned more than 2,000 models of firearms, including handguns and many semi-automatic style weapons, offering to buy them back.
A lot of young Canadians getting involved in this for various reasons.
When people start talking about gun owner rights, I get very concerned about the ideological flow of ideas from the U.S.
We've got our camera set up behind this bulletproof glass.
Sociologists blame a renewed interest in guns in part on the influence of social media.
The kind of masculine ideology that is being promoted on the radical right side of the political spectrum. It is very much a heroic masculinity, a nostalgic masculinity.
Well, I guess God forbid young men actually embrace their masculinity and learn responsible self-defense. Leave it to the woke left to lose their minds over people embracing traditional values. The government-paid media and anti-gun talking heads are crying foul over Canadians legally owning firearms, even though this country already has some of the most restrictive gun laws in the entire world. And here's the kicker. Statistics keep showing that most gun crimes come from illegally obtained firearms, not from licensed gun owners. But that doesn't fit the narrative now, does it? Nope. Much easier to demonize the law-abiding than deal with actual criminals.
Meet decades-long gun enthusiast Dave Collins.
My first paycheck, I bought a shotgun, a 12-gauge Remington.
A former competitive shooter who now likes to hunt and even makes his own ammunition.
This one's my main goose hunting gun. I bought it about 2014, I guess it would be, and it's done a lot of work over the years. Part of why I moved here is because this is a really good bird hunting area.
Okay. Collins is no fan of federal firearms policies, and he thinks it will factor into the upcoming election, citing the unique realities of living in rural Alberta.
So until you get around and start circulating around the countryside, you really don't develop a picture of that stuff. Here's the rest of the world, folks.
Hunting, sport shooting, and gun collecting are part of lots of people's lives. The riding is over 52,000 square kilometers, with more than 80,000 people living in small cities, towns, and villages.
Gun policy is on voters' minds because in this pocket of Alberta, gun culture runs deep.
We just want to be left alone and do what we do out here and without too much regulation. But, we've always been a pretty conservative area and it's never been an issue out here. So.
All righty.
just a way of life around here. Vendors come together, come out and sell their stuff to each other, and the area that comes out, we got guys coming from Manitoba, BC, Yukon sometimes. It's not like they're out to harm anybody or sell to someone who's bad, but it's a business for them.
A 2023 law cemented a freeze on handgun sales. Ottawa also banned more than 1,500 models of assault-style guns in 2020 and expanded the list to over 2,000 models last year. An RCMP database called the Firearms Reference Table is continually being updated, adding more models to the restricted list. The feds have promised a buyback program for people who have guns that were once legal but now are not. That program has been delayed for years. There are some who want to see less government control over gun rules.
There shouldn't be any gun policies to take everybody's guns away because it makes no sense in our part of the world. None whatsoever.
So if someone proposed a stricter policy, would that make you ignore that person?
Probably.
Albertans are not buying the government propaganda. The same old tired line of guns are bad, citizens can't be trusted, so let's just let the government have all the guns because, yeah, that's never gone wrong in history, right? The irony is almost too rich. These laws are oftentimes drafted by people who've never touched a damn firearm in their entire lives. But they're perfectly happy being guarded by men with guns while they sit in an air-conditioned office. But you? Me? The average Joe? No, we don't get that privilege. In all of this, I'm glad to see that Albertans are the least likely to fall for the BS. 81% of people in this province distrust the federal government when it comes to guns and confiscation. And I hope that number hits 100% soon.
This wasn't really a survey. It was a $100,000 taxpayer-funded psyop to try to figure out why law-abiding citizens won't voluntarily surrender their firearms for the Liberals' latest confiscation program. And guess what ECOS found? Gun owners don't trust the government. Big surprise there. More than 2/3 of respondents say they do not trust the feds to make good decisions about firearms in the public interest. In Alberta, to my great sense of pride, that distrust jumps to 81%. Let me repeat that again. 81%. That's not just skepticism. That's open rejection of federal government overreach. And it gets worse for the Liberals. Only 34% of respondents nationally said they support the so-called assault weapons buyback. In Alberta, a dismal 21%. That's 4 out of 5 Albertans telling the feds to get stuffed.
340,000 licensed gun owners in the province of Alberta. Justin Trudeau wakes up one night, whether it's a wet dream or a nightmare, we're not sure what. He just decides, oh my goodness, Albertans can't have guns anymore. I'm going to take them all away. And next thing you know, stupid lists are being posted telling us what property we're no longer allowed to own. And this is just by fiat out of Ottawa, not legislation, just order in council, stroke of a pen, things that you thought you owned, you no longer owned because somebody in Ottawa said so.
If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and press the notifications bell so you never miss her daily updates. Subscribing is free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you change your mind. Thank you to all our channel members. I couldn't do this without your generosity. See you on the next one. Peace.